So Vin and Michelle, and we actually had a three-way text last week, and you guys are good friends with Bob McIntosh, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of you guys might know Bob. His dad, Robert McIntosh, was on with us about a month ago or so. And if you guys remember, you can go back and watch the recordings. Of course, we do all the recordings of the Money Club Mondays on the YouTube channel at Private Money Club. So you can go watch that playlist of the past ones. And Robert McIntosh was on last month talking about how to identify and avoid common scams like wire fraud and things of that nature, which was really good. It's important when it comes to this business of private money lending, understanding that. And then Bob, his son Bob, I've known now for a while. Bob is good friends with my friends Noah and Christy, and does a lot with them at the re-up events. He's worked with Chris Noggle for years. I know they used to do a lot with Flip Out Academy. 10 years ago. He was from Buffalo, but Bob considers himself more of a nomad now, but just an awesome guy.
Yeah.
He does a lot of marketing and website design and landing pages. And I don't know, Bob's into all kinds of cool stuff. So he does some really neat things. So check out Bob. But, they were telling me, he was telling me that Vin and Michelle, he's known them for a while. And then the more I asked around, I started hearing, people know who you guys are. So that's awesome. I love having great people in the club. So I'm excited right now. It's my first time meeting you all. So I'm excited to introduce, who you are, what you guys got going on, and see if we can make some magic happen, as we say here today. So with that being said, we're going to start with Vin and Michelle, and then we will get into some other training as time permits. And like I said, if anybody has any questions or anything, put them out there. But Vin and Michelle, what's up, guys? Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to speak to the group. Been part of PMC since October when there was a big launch. So kind of follow Chris around, part of our mastermind. So we're part of Boardroom. We are also part of Residential Assisted Living, the Rala group. Bob McIntosh is actually how we met. And since then we're engaged because of him.
No way. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. That's super cool. All right.
Yeah,
so literally making magic happen, but it wasn't on Private Money Club. It was through Bob. Okay.
Yeah, so it was about a year ago. But we and Bob Senior has actually been a mentor of mine as well. So some of the deals that we actually have are due to Bob being creative and being able to give opportunities for the PMC group as well. So all of our deals that are current right now, we do have a couple under contract, are in the actual online already in the system. The main ones that I do want to talk about there's two that I have. One that's going to be in the construction that would be a second lien opportunity for $60,000 for 9 months. And then the others are micro loans, which I do see a lot of people that I've been able to speak with. They're learning about that. And it's basically leveraging the loans of the cash flow that we currently have and these properties are already producing. I am more than happy to get on the phone with anyone. Just message us through PMC and I walk you through what we have. But a little bit about us is I'm a former contractor. I started my construction business and real estate business back in South Florida in Miami. And Vin started his back in California back in
07, 08. So
yeah.
I have experience of the good and the bad. I know what it's like to get kicked in the teeth when things are bad. So, if anybody that was smart that actually learned from that's still in the business, I think says a lot because it definitely helps pivot this time around.
Yeah, and we talk about that a lot on here, just the importance of when you're working with a borrower that they understand, the bad with the good. And over the last few years, it seems like you could almost throw, a dart at the wall and find a good deal. And it's becoming tougher now. And, and then as time goes on, different exit strategies and understanding you need to be able to pivot and, experiencing something firsthand. It's hard to beat that experience. I love you guys are part of Boardroom. You've trained with, Robert, you've had mentors, you've been following Chris and Bob. And so that's awesome. But being able to actually firsthand that experience, Vin, of being through 07, 08, it's hard to beat that kind of experience. So I love that part about it.
Yeah. And so I've done over 500 flips for other investors about 7 years ago. And then in 2021 is when I started to invest in our own deals. I moved from South Florida to Texas. So our main business right now is in San Antonio, Texas, where we provide midterm rentals. So we are a buy and hold business. So we do the short-term Airbnbs as well as midterm rentals. So a lot of our deals, if you partner with us, you will understand that we're purchasing them to be able to, and how you would get paid back is through our refinance. So our goal this year is to be able to have full private money as a first lien position, as well as a second lien for all the gap funding and or the construction. And typically our what we look at are anywhere from cosmetics, so anywhere from 30 to 40, about $45,000 in cosmetic works, and it takes us about 45 to 60 days to get the full transaction done in regards to construction. Last year, I was able to get 19 properties under our belt in 1 year and successfully get those out onto the market into our business side of it. So we do know what we're doing. We do like to partner with individuals that are just getting started. And we do have little different entry barriers with our investors in regards to that. And what I mean by that is some people want to just lend money and not learn about the process. And some of our investors want every single stage and learn and how did we get it? What are we doing? And we're more than happy right now at this stage to be able to guide our private money lenders on that. So that's a little bit different from others. And we have, different things as far as making sure that they're utilizing the PMC way and the proper way. Because I know some people think just, hey, let me get you the money and let me write you a check to your bank account. So we follow all the protocols of what needs to be done as far as title and so forth. And we also use a lot of self-directed IRAs as well if you're doing that, or obviously the whole life policy. So we're very familiar with that as well and what that looks like. So that's just a little bit about us.
Yeah, that's a huge help too. I mean, understanding, different types of money and sources of where it's coming from, because we do have a lot of newer lenders on Private Money Club and, people that love the idea and the concept, they understand it. But when it comes to the actual how to, what exactly does that look like? And, we have like an accelerator coaching program starting in a couple of weeks that, shows people those exact steps and how to communicate with you as the borrower to help the lenders with that part. But, just having kind of that learning as you do it type, that you guys can help them with also, it sounds like it's hard to put a price on that. So not only do they get the good returns, but they get that education from you since you've done it before and understand the different areas of, what's it look like coming from a self-directed and using a direction of investment form versus, let's take a loan from a policy and lend it that way or whatever the case might be. So I love that part, Michelle. That's really cool. Now, do you guys want to share your screen and we can kind of show you some of the deals you guys have up on Private Money Club or any projects you're working on? I can pull it up if you want and you can just talk through it, whatever's easier for you. I didn't know if you had anything that you wanted to pull up.
We do. I do have, we have a couple of soft commits on our micro loans. So, but my immediate need of what we're looking for, we had it posted out during the holidays, but we were working, it's actually a property that we currently own. It was inherited, but is our Norwood. That's the main one that right now it should be here. We're looking for someone to be in second lien position on this. We're turning this from a 2-1 into a 3-2. We are looking actually by next week to start doing the construction on this. So we do have a first lien position already on it. So we are seeking a second lien unless someone does want to become first lien, then it is a higher, as far as buy-in. This is our immediate need. I did have it posted out. Just in case anybody sees it, we posted it in February. This is a house that we have in our portfolio already. That we've inherited through family. So that's why it's not that it hasn't been a good deal or anything of that nature. We just wanted to make sure the legal paperwork was taken care of, which we have it all done, where the heirs and my grandmother that has passed away since no longer owns it. And now we're good to go with the attorney. So it had been out on PMC for a minute, but that's the only reason. So if you guys have any questions, please let us know. We're looking to get this done into construction and be out within 90 days because there is a little bit more construction of what we're doing here. But feel free to give us a call on this. We're seeking second position, $60,000. And we are looking for at least 6 months on this. All the information's in there. So that's our immediate need right now.
I just want to make sure they have your cell phone. So you guys can reach out to it. Right now, I think your account is under Michelle on PMC. Is that right? So you can reach out to Michelle on PMC or they'll provide their phone number here. You can call. There you go. Perfect. Then so you can call and or text them to connect. And then, so I guess here's a question. a couple questions that are coming in. So,
And then, yeah, that's what we're under right here, under Michelle and Vin in PMC.
oh, perfect. Okay, cool. And then who would be who's in the first lien position on that one? If so the person would be in the second lien?
So we do have a hard money lender in the first lien position here in Texas that we utilize quite often.
Okay. And then so you're looking for on that one a second lien position of 60,000 for about 6 months.
Correct.
And then how are you going to cash that out at the end of 6 months? Are you refinancing?
So we are refinancing. That is correct. Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think it's down there. You're going to keep it in your rental portfolio.
That is, yes. This will be a short-term rental.
Does anybody have any questions on this deal right here? So I guess just one more time, if you want to maybe just run through the numbers. So it's
yep. So this particular property right now, we're seeking 60. It's 158 is the first lien position with 60,000 as far as the rehab, which would be the second lien is what we're looking for. Current right now, and this is current market comps, it's at 265. We do have, there is someone interested, I can show you when we do the rezoning, which we will be, that we actually have a lot more equity, but I went ahead and just went off of what the single family currently is, because we do have a 3-2 in the front that that's converted, and then we do have an ADU in the back. So if people are familiar with like the California, and Texas is getting big right now with ADUs, you actually can, you do get more as far as the comps. All that information is uploaded, but if you want some additional information, I can run the numbers with you. On this particular deal, I did see a question in there. We are not looking for an equity standpoint in this deal, just on this particular one, but we do that with other deals that we do have in our pipeline. So one thing I have done, if you're on here and I haven't spoken with you, I have had that first conversation with individuals. This is what we do full time. So we pick about 2 to 3 deals up per month. So if this deal doesn't work for you, let's get on the phones and let's still have a conversation so I can see what you're comfortable with and what you're looking for. And when we do have that deal, we could definitely look into partnering up at that time.
That's the best part on here is developing those relationships and being able to, hey, if this one doesn't fit, there's always the next one coming down the road. That's the kind of borrower it's good to work with, because you're going to spend your time anyways, kind of, learning about somebody and deciding if you're going to do business with them or not. So to me, it's like if, you guys are doing more than one deal every 6 months, something like that, then it's worth the time to get to know you better, because even if the first one doesn't fit, your needs as a lender, you guys probably have something else coming down the pipeline pretty quickly where it's worth my time to spend and to get to know you. So just something, that I'm always thinking about, on the lender side, and I try and use these as teaching, opportunities for everybody. So hopefully you guys are thinking that way when, they're talking about this stuff.
Yeah, I would say 100%. I mean, that's my passion and love for real estate. And I think it's hers too, because to me, it's like speed dating. So it's not a marriage. If it doesn't work after one, then you part ways and the deal's done. So there's always opportunities. So again, anybody that wants to talk or communicate or ask any questions, the direct number for both Michelle and I, 210-940-0112. Once again, 210-940-0112. And again, you can call or text us there with any questions or any way we can help.
Yeah, and I do see some of the questions. I don't know. Is it okay, Stephen, that we answer them? Or
yeah, absolutely,
okay.
Please. Yeah.
So the main market right now, we are focused in San Antonio. We are looking as far as on the contracting side. I'm here. I'm able to touch it. I'm able to make sure that it's done. We will be expanding soon, but not at this time. But we do other deals. Like I said, we have a transactional business. You probably see our board back here. So we do some wholesale deals. But as far as for our personal portfolio, currently right now, we are in the San Antonio market. And then Claudia asked, would you share what is your personal contributions on these deals? Absolutely. Just depending on what the deal is. So typically we will put in the gap funding or we will be the ones that would be doing the sweat equity here, managing the project. So we don't ever get paid until after all our lenders get paid out, and then we'll cut our profit. So it's always typically after this. I hope that answers your question. And then I talked about the equity package on this deal. We're not looking for this particular one. And then the interest back onto this particular deal, we are looking at 12% annualized. So if you are utilizing your whole life policy, you actually make more than that. But that's something that, Stephen's teaching you guys.
Yeah, definitely. And do you guys, do you guys like to pay interest up front or monthly or at the end or?
I mean, everything's negotiable. If you're
Correct.
asking us, I'd rather do it on the back end.
Yeah.
Or
We
Okay.
really, it's the comfortability and the relationship we have. Some of our relationships that we've built, they trust us enough, but we understand coming into PMC, it's really learning. So I've had those conversations. It's really where we feel both comfortable. So it is, that's what I love about real estate. It's up for, negotiation for us to have that conversation. We're looking to really be able to not just do, like you mentioned earlier, not just one deal, all, what we've had so far, the people we've partnered with last year, they've all re-injected their earnings and interest into new deals. So they've rolled over those deals, and that's what we're looking for.
All right. So you got a bunch of stuff there, and you guys can find the more details on Private Money Club for that one. Is that the one deal right now you're focusing on getting funded?
Yes, like I said, I have a couple of the other deals here that we've had verbal commits from some people in PMC and others, but we haven't had anything signed on the dotted line yet. So again, there's different entry levels that we have in these properties. So feel free to reach out to us, and we'll get on a call this week with you guys to talk a little bit more if there's a specific deal that you guys are very interested in.
Yeah. Do you have anything with these microloans? What does one of those look like? I'm just curious. Can we run through one just to get an example?
Yeah. So on the microloans, these particular properties, so the way that we do our construction. So this is one of our properties that we have currently right now in our midterm. Obviously, you see that it has already staged. So when I do the construction, coming from a construction background, what we do is we have 3 phases in our portfolio. Our first phase is to be able to get the best ARV and get it up and going to get into our business side to the point that we could get it cash out refied or get it into a refinance. And so on these particular ones, we've done that, but there were some things that we need to do some renovations on that we need to in the property. So this specific one, we have to you actually see it in this picture. We have to go in and do a whole AC duct and renovation. So it doesn't disturb the people that are in there, but we are seeking funds for this to be able to do the additional renovations. So with the private money that we're looking for on the 30,000, it would be a microloan for us to do some additional renovations on there. These properties are already in our portfolio, cash flowing, but we're in the second phase of getting things done. One of our other properties, we're having to do all the windows. As everyone knows, windows are expensive. So we're having to get that, and that's what we're looking at. Any of these microloans do not exceed what the bank would offer us, right? So usually they'll give you an 80% LTV of what your home is at. All of these particular loans are around 73 to 75. Anyone that is interested in these particular loans, I'll show you what our mortgage is, right? And I'll show you, and we obviously can run comps. So the numbers, so you understand it. If you guys need a little bit more information, if you're not familiar with that, but just to let you guys, we're not over leveraging these properties by any means. So I just want to make that clear.
Yeah. I mean, so if you look at it from a bank's perspective, which if you're a lender, I mean, you're spot on, Michelle, with that. I mean, you're going to look at, what's the first mortgage, how much equity is in that property, the same thing that a bank does when they give a HELOC, just as an easy example of that. I mean, that's essentially what a microloan is a HELOC, but it's just using private money, which again, we go back to why use private money. It's easier, it's faster, it's time sensitive. It's helping a lender as opposed to going to the banks. It's being able to do multiple deals at once. I mean, as you guys see, you have 5 or 6 different microloans available right now if somebody wanted. So it's just allowing you guys to get more done quicker, without dealing with all that. The same thing is on the front end of doing flips and, getting using private money as opposed to banks. Same exact thing. It's just using the equity. So that's cool, man. That's great. I love it. Love you guys are doing that. Dwight and Brandon do a lot of that also. If you go on Private Money Club right now and look, it's the exact same concept.
Yep. Love Dwight. That's where I got it from.
Okay, cool. All right.
Dwight's
I know you guys are both in boardrooms, so I figured
he's part of boardroom. Well, it was him and Bob Senior. Bob Senior was like, Michelle, you have you have equity in your property. Some of our properties, we have up to 100,000 in equity. Yeah. He's like, instead of going out and getting these high interest rates, locked in at 30 years, why don't you do microloans? And that's
help other people
make money as well. So
yeah, I love it. I mean, it's a great way to do things. I love all of our borrowers, don't get me wrong, but people like you guys that come in with an education and you have the right mentors and you're learning from the right people. from my side, that just, it puts you, up there. So it's really cool to see that.
Well, Stefan, I'll tell you this much, and I think it was a mental block for both of us very early in our careers, that we had to get over the fact that it wasn't us asking for a favor. It was a win-win relationship to where somebody's got to put their money to work, and it benefits both sides. And once we thought that way, then things got a lot easier. So just for anybody that's kind of, on the fence with the same scenario, you're not asking for a favor, you're helping somebody.
Perfect.
That's great.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you giving us the opportunity. I know that I actually was speaking to another PMC lender, and he had mentioned about these calls. So we're excited to be here and excited to be able to have the opportunity to be able to present our deals to you guys.
Yeah, well, thanks for being a member. We appreciate you being here and helping out and answering questions. I mean, that's such a big part of it. And again, like I can't stress the importance of learning from people that actually have done things and are doing it and are in it every single day. I mean, as the market changes, what are you guys seeing? What is the market looking like in San Antonio right now? I'm just curious myself.
So we had about a 30% increases in regards to the whole bubble, kind of, so to speak, in your maze. We're still at a 20% above what the market is. So we haven't seen a lot of difference in what other markets are looking at. So what we're doing to position ourselves, and this was a plan before too, because you always have to pivot within it, is doing a lot of seller finance deals and sub twos. That's why I was telling you the elephants that were in the back were part of the elephant challenge and so forth. So we're looking a lot of more transactional as well. That's why some people were asking. We're doing wholesale deals in other areas. But last year, my main goal was to get to get a foundation and to get these, these properties up and going. So our focus this year is a little bit different. In regards to the ARVs and pricing, obviously they've gone down a little bit, but we haven't seen that much in difference. When we analyze our deals, we're making sure that we're really following that 70% ARV and maybe even less than that. So the only way we can do that is to be able to go out there and get these pre-foreclosure deals and distressed properties.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. I've always liked San Antonio market. I used to work with a guy, Armando Montalongo, down there.
Oh yeah, I heard about it.
Crazy reputation, I think, but he's.
So we thought he disappeared, but we just looked him up, and he's active again in San Antonio, which is great. I will tell you this: San Antonio is definitely one of the fastest growing cities in the country right now, because those damn Californians and New Yorkers are coming into San Antonio, and I'd be one of them. I came from California, so construction here, they can't keep up. The freeways are not being built fast enough for the influx of people. So there's a big need of housing and movement and all that other stuff. So it's a hot market. So again, anybody that's looking for something, this is a prime area to be putting money to work.
I love it, man. You got the whole Riverwalk area down there and everything. It's just a beautiful place. And then you're close to Austin too. What's Austin, about an hour and a half?
67 miles. We're 67 miles.
Yeah. And Austin that's a really crazy market. Right now, San Antonio is becoming that corridor in between. And I was born and raised here. I moved back here 1 year ago from 13 years. So living in Miami, coming back here is everything is just totally different. I'm a newbie here. We've been here about a year ago. December of this past year was a year. So I'm liking it. Like I said, we're going to continue to be growing our portfolio here, but San Antonio is a pretty stable market. Like I said, we do the midterm rental side of it. So a lot of our people are from the military that are coming in, or like corporate housing. So there's a lot of people moving here because of it's cheaper in land and some from other places.
All right, awesome. Your company name or your full names? I guess just somebody just wanted to know.
Yeah, so MD Legacy Investments. If you're looking to be a private money lender, that's where you could start to see a little bit about our company and our experience. Our business side is Legacy Crash Pads. If you're wanting to see what our properties look like out on the business side, and the midterm rentals, if you're wanting to book something there. But you get, as a private money lender, a little bit of both sides of the exposure. So we'll put that in there.
And Mark Perry, I just saw your statement. Thank you very much. It's kind words is all I can say. So
that's great. Yeah. And then Mark was also just asking, why not get a HELOC on the property as opposed to using private money? And I mean, you guys can answer that, but Mark, for me, it's just the same. I mean, it's the same stuff. Why use private lenders in a flip instead of the bank? It's the ease of the money. It's working with an individual, not the banking system. It's time, time sensitive. Private money you can do in a few days. Banks, in their best world, it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, there's just a bunch of little reasons like that. Plus, doing multiple projects. Sometimes banks will frown upon multiple deals going on. You get stuck into the commercial world, which is a whole nother, so private money just becomes a lot easier at that point. So it's worth the extra few percentage points to access. And a lot of times it's short term anyways. I mean, all these micro loans look like they're about 6 months. Do you guys have anything longer term? Do you have anything you're looking for somebody like longer?
Absolutely. I actually had a private money lender that was like, I want to be with, he's more working on the mentor side too, but he's like 12 months. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Obviously it's more money out of but we're willing to do that. Right. So we are open to that. We just make sure, because we have our interview process as well, that these individuals, and this is something you'll appreciate, that, are you utilizing a whole life policy? Do you have your LLC in place? Can you part from the money for 9 months? We won't bring anybody on if it's their rent money. I mean, we
told people no. So we got we get interviewed and we do the interviewing as well. It's got to make sense both ways. And if somebody's, hey, this is my last $25,000, just put it to work, I need to make some money, I'm like, well, if this is it, then no, I can't take, in good conscience, we won't take the money.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
no, that's awesome. I love you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Stephen, I have one last question, and
Yes,
then we'll
sir.
be up. When are you going to become one of our lenders?
Yeah, I get asked that quite frequently, but I will.
I mean, it's on a recorded call, so
I will definitely look at that. I will definitely look at that. If only I had enough money to lend to everybody on Private Money Club. That'll be the day. One of these days, we'll see. But
yeah,
I feel like personally, though, like not a recommendation, but I personally would feel very comfortable lending to both of you with my own personal funds. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and if I know that you mentioned Bob McIntosh, if anybody's following him, I did do a podcast with him a couple of months ago. If you want to kind of just check that out. And then you'll also start to see I'm getting out of my own way to be able to start, getting more exposure online and stuff like that. So I have done private money. If you go onto our YouTube channel, I just did, why do you use private money? So I was interviewed by somebody else in regards to that. So
yeah, that's awesome. I don't know Bob's podcast link. The show, do you remember?
I don't know. I just know I was on it.
I have to find out my social media. I'll find it in a minute, guys. I'll put it in the chat box in a minute. I'll find it once we get rolling here. No, that's awesome, Michelle. And thanks again for coming on, you guys. And definitely come back soon. Next deal you have, whatever, come back. Let's talk about it. And you're great on camera and keep the podcast. I mean, we've done that a lot. Just, we learned a lot about how to put content out there. And the biggest thing is just consistency. Like maybe do a weekly show for all your investors. And I mean, it's good communication anyways, building that relationship. And we're going to teach a lot of that stuff in like the accelerator coaching program. And so if anybody's looking to get into that, but it's, you're doing it right now. So it's cool to see.
Thank you so much. Yes, definitely.
All right. Awesome. Well, y'all have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll stay on.
There you go. Call us. How do I make you guys see that? Let me see if I can pin that. Was that up the whole time, Michelle and Vin? I don't know if it was. I'm gonna highlight it though because I think it's funny.
No, it wasn't up. I just figured I got to maximize the opportunity.
Spotlight. There you go. I love it. Here we go. Can you guys see that now? There you go. See, they're on the ball, man. They're creating stuff as we're going. Michelle and Vin, one more time. Thank you for being here. There
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man, definitely.
Thank you.
It was great to meet you both. You guys are awesome. Awesome to have in the club. And we look forward to working with you for years to come. All right.
100%. Absolutely. Having our number out here, we've already started getting calls and texts from people. So again, thank you for the opportunity.
Cool, guys. All right.